So, speaking of expectations, I read the other day, someone said, I recently read Great Expectations. It wasn't as good as I thought it would be. So, the human condition is that sometimes we withhold blessings from others, thinking that it's only about us blessing them. But the spiritual solution to that human condition is the fact to realize that we are blessed as we bless others. So I invite you to affirm today's affirmation, which is, I am blessed as I bless. Together, I am blessed as I bless. One more time. I am blessed as I bless. Feel that vibration of blessing. So, thank you very much. So what is it that we get from blessing others? What is it that you think might, how blessings might bless you? What does blessing others bless you with? More joy? I can't hear in the back. Self-healing. Self-healing. Love.
Freedom.
Grace. How about harmony, peace, poise, happiness, fulfillment? All reasons that we, all ways that we are blessed as we bless. So I want to share a story some of you may have heard before about my friend and colleague, Reverend Mary Omwake. And Mary was a minister on Maui for many years, and she still lives there. Rob Doss is one of her best friends. And she was saying that when she first found Unity, she made an appointment to talk to the minister because she wasn't one then. And she was telling this minister about all her troubles and all her frustrations and these people and all this stuff. And he said to her, you know, Mary, no one is undeserving of your love. And she said, and I had facts. Don't we all? Don't we all have facts? Right. So, and then there was our books, Unity, one of our books called Adventures on the Quest. I love this. It says, the degree to which you can let your love flow unconditionally in all directions is the automatic built-in gauge of how you are letting God express in your life. Your love quotient is never higher, take a deep breath, than the least amount of love you give to some person, no matter how much you are loving someone else. Your love quotient, like your LQ, not your IQ, but your LQ, is never higher than the least amount of love you give to some person, no matter how much you are loving someone else. I remember when I first read that, it was like, oh my God. Okay. So, I want to say something about the word expectations because you may have heard me talk about this before. In 12-step rooms, we don't do expectations. In fact, what we say is that expectations are premeditated resentments. When I have an expectation of someone else and then they don't come through, I am disappointed or maybe even resentful, okay? So we say, no expectations. So I just wanted to clarify that before I say that this is a different kind of expectation that Pierre Pradervand is talking about. And he is really talking about the law of positive expectation. And it isn't about expecting someone else to do something that you want them to do or whatever. It's about knowing the truth of that person. It's about seeing beyond the veil of their humanness to their essence, to who they really are. And that's what you're calling forth, that's what we are calling forth when we bless someone. So if someone's angry, we're calling forth that peace in them. You know? If they're being hateful, we're calling forth that love that is their essence. That's what it means to bless someone, to have expectations in terms of knowing and claiming for them the truth of their nature, their very being. So Dr. Milton Erickson, his law of expectation says 85% of what you expect to happen will. 85% of what you expect to happen will. And it's important to realize that expectations don't play favorites. And it doesn't matter if you're expecting something negative or positive. Okay, the law of expectation is true. And you can't cheat the law of expectation. So you can't just wish something to be true. You know, I wish I'd win the lottery, right? It's like, that's a wish. It's not a real expectation. And it's probably a real wish when we have expectations of others, right? Those aren't really what we expect, because an expectation really has to do with our belief system. What is it that we believe and expect to have happen? You know, can we be in alignment with our beliefs? And in unity, of course, we believe in our oneness. We believe in our goodness, our inherent goodness, regardless of how we're acting. So that's why we want to be able to bless everyone, no matter what. We want to call forth their highest and their good. Jesus said it this way, "So I tell you, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours." So if I'm sick and I'm going around telling everybody how sick I am, most of the day, with all of my energy and all of my belief behind that, it doesn't matter how many times I affirm I'm healthy, whole, and well, right? Because I'm not, my belief system is otherwise. So I always tell people, be careful what you don't know you know. You know, be careful what you don't know is in your unconscious mind. That we really have to, build up in our unconscious mind these beliefs that support us so that we can always expect the best. Now the other part of the topic is returns. And that's really about the law of giving and receiving. And the Hindus call it karma. And the law of right return, some talk about cause and effect. What goes around comes around, you heard that? You reap what you sow. Thoughts are like boomerangs, I like that one. Thoughts are like boomerangs. They'll return to us with increased negative or positive energy. So bless others and you will be blessed. You receive as you give. You cannot, we don't bless others in order, you know, with the motivation of blessing ourselves, but the point of it is, that's the law. And we can't help it, no matter. If we bless, we cannot help but be blessed. It's along the line of, in unity we say we are not punished for our sins, but by them, right? We're not rewarded for our good deeds, but by them. It's that same law of return that happens. Yogananda said, if you radiate love and goodwill to others, you will open the channel for God's love to come to you. Through meditation and service, love and blessing, to mankind, you will develop divine love, the magnet that draws to you all good. So again, we don't bless others in order to draw that good to us, but as we bless others, it just happens. So a number of years I thought of a story that really applies to this idea of expectations and return. And it was when I was doing the 9th step of the 12 steps. And the 9th step is when we make amends to people we have harmed. And so I did a number of letters to people when I went through my 9th step. And my husband, Jim, contacted me 20 years after our divorce. And he said, I know I've heard that you have your master's degree in counseling, and that you're a counselor, and that you're an ordained unity minister. But what really impressed me was that letter you sent me 5 or 6 years ago. And the letter he was talking about was my amends letter, where I owned my part and took responsibility for my part in our irreconcilable differences, okay? And so he said to me that he wanted to apologize for the fact that he hadn't responded to that letter. And I said to him, no response was expected, because when we do our 9th step, we do it to clean up our side of the street, but we have no expectation, right? Premeditated resentment type of expectation of a reply of any kind. And he said, well, I think common decency, called for a reply. And so he apologized for that, and then he made amends for his part in our irreconcilable differences, because it's always two. It's never just one person that's the problem, it's always two. And so I really believe that that example is a great example of being blessed by another and being a blessing to another. Yet that wasn't my motive, but I certainly was blessed when I made the amends, because I felt clean that I had done my part, and then to get this unexpected response from him, like 5 or 6 years after I wrote the letter. Wow, what a blessing that was. I was just simply doing the next right thing. And for those of you who are familiar with 12-step work, there are promises that are made, and I'm not going to go over them today. There's a whole list of promises that will happen in this program, and they happen in the context of the 9th step, which is when we make amends. That's when the promises come true for us, and I certainly experienced that. So, we expect the highest and best of people. We call it forth when we bless them, when we send them blessings. We are calling forth and expecting the very highest and best of them and for them and from them. But we're not having any attachment to that expectation. We simply know that, you are the Christ, and this is how I expect you to act. We're not saying that to them, but that's what we're saying silently. I know you are the Christ. I know that you are absolutely divine and loving and generous and kind, and that's what I'm going to hold for you. That's my expectation in my heart, without laying it on them. So, how do we do that? How do we do this blessing no matter what? No matter what the individual's done to us, no matter what the circumstances is like. And of course the first way is through prayer and meditation. Often when I find myself condemning another person, I ask the God of my being, my true nature, to create in me a clean heart. That's the first thing I've got to pray for. To have a clean heart myself, so that I can see past the appearances and behold the Christ, the Buddha nature, the Yahweh consciousness, the Allah consciousness in this person, to call it forth. And then I've given you a handout today. You can see our printer needs new toner. But anyway, we're going to bless it to its highest toning. But this is from pages 6 through 9 of The Gentle Art of Blessing. And I thought instead of ripping it out of your books, that maybe if I gave you a copy, and this is some great guidelines for blessing as a spiritual practice. So that applies to all 7 weeks of this series, not just today. And then I invite you to be a part of the spiritual energy of the community by wearing the color of the week. And next week it is yellow. And of course Lisa's going to be wearing the same jacket next week, right? You know? And yeah, and I believe the study, are there any of the soul circles that are still open? You've got room in yours? Okay, and I don't know where one in yours. Okay, so see, Monica, Rosemary, if you're, what night is yours?
It's Monday from 1 to 3.
Monday from 1 to 3 here.
No, it's actually at Nancy's house.
At Nancy's house. So see, Monica, if Monday from 1 to 3 works for you. And yours is, Rosemary? From 6:30 to 8 and at your home. Right. So if it's not too late, but I would say today's the last day. Because once groups get started, they bond. And then then somebody else comes in and kind of changes the energy. So please talk to Rosemary or Monica today if you'd like to be in their group. Okay, so let's know that we are all blessed as we bless. And that's what we want to take home today. To bless, not in order to be blessed, but because we will be blessed and we are making a difference in the consciousness of the world. And let's begin doing that right now in a sacred time of shared prayer. And so I invite us to be fully present to that truth that we are. That we are made in the image and likeness of the Creator. That we are all-knowing, all-powerful, and always present. And just begin to breathe as if you're breathing in and out through the heart. Allowing each breath to relax the body, to clear any obstruction to love's awareness. To cleanse, purify, and heal whatever is needed. And I would invite you to just imagine any number of people who perhaps you don't have a good relationship with, there's some conflict, some unresolved anger or resentment. And I want you to imagine that somehow, unbeknownst to you, how they are thinking of you right now, and they are blessing you. And just open your heart and allow them to bless you as the divine, sacred being that you are. Allow them as the divine, sacred being that they are to send you loving, blessing energy. And just feel that energy enter into your heart, your mind, and your body. Allow that blessing energy, that loving blessing energy to permeate every cell and atom. of your body, your heart, your soul, your mind. Allow them to know the truth of who you really are, your divine essence. Allow them to call it forth. And as you feel that loving blessing, allow it to not only move in you, through you, as you, allow it to radiate from you back to them. Beholding them as the Christ they are. Giving and receiving in this beautiful circle of infinity. Being blessed and blessing. Being blessed and blessing in the silence. And as we gently bring our attention back to this time and place, allow gratitude to fill your heart to overflowing. As you silently say, thank you, divine love that I am, for the willingness to bless and be blessed, for a willingness to bless those I may feel resistant to blessing. Thank you, divine love. Thank you, thank you, thank you, that it is so, that I am so, and so it is. Amen.